everybody, this is our lesson on possessive pronouns. So we've gone through a lot of different types of pronouns, and you guys are doing really well on them in general. You probably will find these to be some of the easiest pronouns you'll work with, just because I find they're just more clear. So I think you'll find this lesson pretty easy. So let's just do a quick run through of the few rules about possessive pronouns that we need to know. So first of all, you'll remember that a pronoun is just a word that replaces a noun. And we use pronouns because they help to make our writing and our speech just more interesting and varied and not so redundant. And there, of course, are different types of pronouns. We have studied subject pronouns, object pronouns, the difference between the two, and now we're studying possessive. So possessive, as you'll probably know, means relates to the word possession. So possession, possessive, it means ownership. So possessive pronouns are pronouns that that show ownership. So some pronouns, possessive pronouns, have to come before the noun. Those are my, your, her, our, its, and their. Notice it's not it apostrophe s, it's just its because it's yeah. So all right, here's an example. Please bring me your coat. So the noun is in red. Coat is the noun, that's the thing. And whose coat is it? Who possesses it or owns it? Well, it's my coat. So possessive pronoun. There are other possessive pronouns like mine, yours, hers, ours, theirs. But if you think about this, if you were to write, please bring mine coat, that would not make sense, right? That would not make sense. So you need to, these are the pronouns that come before the noun. My, your, her, our, its, their. So please bring her coat. Please bring your coat. Please bring our coats. Right? Okay. Let's see. These are the pronouns that can stand by themselves, and I've highlighted them in purple. They can stand by themselves. So the coat is mine, right? Mine, yours, hers, ours, theirs. The coat is mine. That's one example. Another example is if someone had a question and were to say, like, whose coat is this? You could say, it's mine. And the sentence would be fine. Everybody would understand. However, if you wrote, somebody said, whose coat is this? And you said, it's my, people would look at you funny because that does not make sense, right? So some of these, it does matter where they go in the sentence or how they go in the sentence. And then his is a special pronoun because it can be used either way. So it can either go before the noun, after the noun, or stand on its own. So one example is that coat is his. There's also an example of that is his coat, right? So it comes before the noun. Also, you could do the question format where so it can stand by itself. It's not a question format. I'm sorry, erase that. I'm just using the question answer format so that you can, so I can show you that it stands on its own. So whose coat is this? It's his. And that's totally understandable. People will not look at you funny if you say that. Okay. So let's go through a couple of examples together. So directions. Complete each sentence below with a possessive pronoun that fits the sentence. These can be, the answers are going to be any of these. Okay. So let's do number one. He woke up to hear the laughter of blank friends. So so it's either going to be, what is it? He woke up to hear the laughter of, yes, his friends. Okay. Let's just jump around and do, well, let's just do number two. Let's be traditional. Just do number two. He could hear sellers describing blank wares. So wares just means things they're selling, but he could hear sellers describing blank wares. Now, this one could be potentially confusing, especially if you're rushing, because it starts with a he, which is a pronoun. And so you could, if you're not careful, you might just put his because if you're not paying attention. But let's see if that would work. He could hear sellers describing his wares. That's a weird sentence because that means people, the sellers are describing him. So that's not right or good. So no, not going to work. What about he could still, if there's sellers are the people who are selling things and sellers with an S, which means there's more than one. So it's either going to be there or theirs. So theirs could stand on its own. It could be theirs, right? And there has to be before a noun. So let's just check. Is there a noun after this spot, this blank? Yeah, wares, which means items that are being sold. That's a noun. So there could work, but so could theirs. We just have to decide which one makes sense then, as far as our subject and our pronoun have to agree in number. So let's check. He could hear sellers. So if there's sellers multiple, are we going to say there or theirs? That's right. We're going to say there. Okay. I'm going to have you guys do 3 through 10 on your own, but like in your groups. Maybe or maybe not in your groups. I'll tell you on the day. And if there's a sub in the room, they will tell you today on the day. But you're going to do 3 through 10. You may not move on to the next page until you have had 3 through 10 checked off. Okay. If you move on to the next page without getting 3 through 10 checked off, you will not get credit for the next page. Okay. So really pay attention to that direction. Okay. This page is your post test. So you're going to read the directions, read the sentence first, then choose a possessive noun. Read the first sentence, then choose a possessive pronoun that makes sense in the second sentence. So you know your name. It is either yours, hers, his, mine, or theirs, right? So I even give you a word bank. The answer is only going to be one of these. It is all the possessive pronouns that can stand alone because you're going to put them all into separate sentences. You just have to figure out which one. All right. Okay. You'll need to get an 80% on this post test in order to pass. And yeah, obviously no talking. Try your best. And when you're done, if there's no other directions, do mending. All right. Thanks, guys.